different kind of video today. I just heat treated a batch of knives here, and I'm gonna do something I don't think I've seen done on YouTube. Surface grinding videos have been done, but I'm gonna do things a little different for you. I do a 220 grit belt, and then I go to that's for my first. The 220 is the first grit belt I do after heat treat, which is a knife that comes out. They look like that, you know, oxidized. And I go to a belt that I don't hear very many people use, and they're really good. It's a cork belt. What I do, I get a cork belt, and they come and they look like, for no one who has seen them, when they come they look like a gravel road, for lack of a better term. And you can get 220 grit, 400 grit, but what you do, I knock the top of them off, and then I put buffing compound on them. And you can actually go from a 220 grit to take your slag off, your heat treat discoloration, and you can jump right into that worn 220 with the buffing compound on it and get a dang near mirror polish on your flats, your knives. When I say flats, I mean once your knife is ground, the flats up here. I'm gonna go ahead and do these because I just want to get the bark off of them, the scale, heat discoloration, whatever you want to call it. And I grind mine everything after heat treat. And what I do, I'll go back and I'll hit it again on the cork belt after I'm done the knife, because I always finish with a Scotch-Brite belt. And this is true with when you're using a flat, whether you're flat grinding or saber grinding. When you use a Scotch-Brite belt, it kind of wants to blur the lines between the Scotch-Brite and your bevel and your flat. And what I do, I'll go back over after I'm done all my grinding, and I'll hit it again on the surface grinder here, and it just it'll sharpen that flat up and create a real sharp definition between your flat and your bevel, whether it be flat grinding, hollow grinding, whatever type of grinding it is. Now, I don't have a surface grinder. What I have is a grinder, the attachment that was made from my Dozer grinder. So technically it's a surface grinder, but it's manually used, but it really does work. But you really don't have to have a surface grinder. You can use a magnet on your tang, and use your platen, which I did for a long time, and you will get the same effect also. So you don't have to have the you know, like I said, a surface grinder to do this of any type. Like, you can just use your basic tools too. I did it for 13 years before I got this attachment. That's how I did all the flats on the knives. So I'll take you over there and I'll show you what the thing looks like, and then I'll set it up and I'll actually run through a knife, and I'll show you what the finish you can get. So it's going to be pretty unique and something a little different from the mainstream that I've seen done. Bob Dozer, actually 13 years ago, I think it was, at a blade show, told me about these and told me to give us a look, because D2, which this knife is, has a tendency to, it's a bugger to finish, but if you know how to do it, you get it right. You get a lot of orange peel finish on it if you don't know how to finish it, but once you get the grasp of it, it's a fantastic knife still. It's my favorite still there is, which I've said before in previous videos. So let's go over and check this out. Right here, I want you to take a look at the cork belt, what it looks like. You can actually see a sheen from me using polish on it. This belt's probably 10, 11 years old. I don't know if you can pick it up, but you can actually see the pits and divots where it was really high at one time, and I'd worn it down. I'd take a piece of scrap metal and knock the high parts off. And this actually has green compound on it. It's pretty worn in, but they get better with age. So that's just something different, but they last forever. So alright, I'll show you the thing here and what I use to do my surface grinding with. It's an interesting piece of machinery here. Pull you over here. What it is you put your knife on here, it has earth magnets on it, and it has a feed right here. It has a feed right here that you feed the stock up and down. It has a digital readout if you're doing folders, so you know how many thousands it's taken off. With fixed blade, it doesn't matter. And back and forth manually. And as you progress down, you just feed up into the your wheel until you get your clean finish. I'm gonna put the camera off the side so you can see this thing work. I'm gonna try to put some light on it so you can get a good view of it. Alright, it's on there. I'll try my first pass here. Bring it up, dial it in. Start to touch. Now, as you can see what that thing looked like before I started, and look at it now. I only made about 5 passes with that too. I'll go ahead and grind my bevels in, and once I get to my last grit with that Scotch-Brite, it blends your finish, and then I'll come back over and have about 1 or 2 passes on that right there with the cork belt, and it'll be nice and sharp. And I'll tell you what, it saves you a lot of money on belts. So, you know, you can go hit it with a 220 and come over and hit it with a cork belt, which is, I've had it forever. So it's pretty economical. So, and there's a shot of the wheel. What it is it's a 6-inch wheel. It's a 100 durometer wheel. It's the same kind of wheels they use on people who they turn your regular surface grinder from a stone to a belt-driven surface grinder. Use the belts instead of your stones. A lot of them are going to that and get really good finishes on it. This is an attachment I had made for my dozer. It was made out of some gentleman in it's called 84 Engineering out of Australia made one. I think I said in my previous videos, one of them, but he was such a good guy. His name's Ewan, and I did a few drawings and I emailed them to him, and we, emailed back and forth, and he made it for me in about 2 weeks and had it in the U.S. within 3 weeks, and that's the time of building too, and did a fantastic job with it. And there's another gentleman, like I said, in the United States that makes them too. He's really busy and I had a hard time getting a hold of him, but he does some fantastic work too, and he has a really good grinder. But that was just another way and something else I thought maybe help somebody out, because belts are expensive nowadays, $7-8 a pop. So give that a try. Like I said, you can do it on your platen too, on your grinders, and you'll get the same effect if you got that platen flat. So alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that and learned something from it, and subscribe to it, and I got a lot more to share with people. So, comment on it, because I put a lot of work into knife making, and I want to teach people stuff I've learned and maybe help somebody out along the way. You need to pay it forward. All right, thank you. I appreciate everything.